Hey guys, and it has been an interesting year when it goes for the precious metal prices. We have seen all-time highs for gold and silver in this year, and there are some people who are still wanting to invest, diversify their portfolio. The commodities are in the mainstream, but there are some people who are wanting to make good use of this price rise. So whether you are in need of money or you want to just about monetize your gold holdings because you bought them low and it is nearly 50,000 rupees per 10 grams where the gold price are holding, so you may want to go out in the market and sell this old gold jewelry, bars or coins as well. But remember, when you sell old gold, there is some expense or charges that you would incur into this. So this is exactly what we are trying to explain to you today. So the first things first, you have to understand on what is the purity of your gold. So the gold jewelry that you might be holding could be of 24 carats, which is 100% pure gold. But if it is 22 carats or 18 carats, then the gold in holding into that actually goes down. The gold content goes down. So if it's an 18 carat jewelry, the gold content in that is just about 75%. If it is 14 carat, then it is 58.5%. And then of course in abroad there is gold jewelry that is made in 10 carats or less as well. So in this, the gold content would be much lower. So you have to know on what caratage is your gold jewelry of. That is what your value when you sell it would be taken in. The other thing is about the weight itself. So if you have a solid gold jewelry, then the weight for that would be equal to what you are actually carrying in. But if this is a jewelry which has stones, gems, other precious stones or diamonds studded into that, then the weightage would then vary, because the person you are selling it to would take these gems and stones out and then give you worth your gold weight, and then for the stones a billing would be made separately. So you have to understand the weight of your gold jewelry quite well in this case as well. For an example, if you have a gold ring which weighs 3 grams, 2 grams is gold and 1 gram perhaps is a stone in that, that would be paid separately. Yes, if your jewelry is a designer jewelry, if it is an intricate piece or it is very old, it is antique, then it perhaps is bought in totality and you would also get a premium for that. But do not attach too much emotions to gold jewelry that you are selling, because most of the buyers who will buy it mostly would sell it off, because jewelry tends to get worn out because of everyday use. So it is an old jewelry, it would not be bought at a new gold price to begin with. So it is usually melted when people buy it on the other side. The other thing is on who is eligible actually to sell this gold. First of all, you should be 18 years and above. You have to be an adult to go out and sell gold. Second thing is most of the buyers will ask for your address proof and verification. They would ask your number, your passport size pictures. They would also want your ID proofs or passports, etc. So depending on who you are going out to sell your old gold, they would be asking for all of these papers. If they do not, then that is not the place perhaps where you should be selling your old gold. So do make your checks and balances on where you're going and where you're selling this. The most important thing really is finding a buyer. One place that you should not go and sell your gold is to a pawn shop, because they are not interested in giving you a fair price. For them, it usually is about giving you less and selling it for more. So pawn shop is clearly not a place where you should sell your old gold. The other are the jewelry stores perhaps, but then again, these are quick options, easy options. You almost always know a jewelry shop, some place you have been going all of these years, but then again, they are not licensed to buy old gold jewelry. So a place that you can again avoid. Make sure also that when you are selling this gold, it is weighed in front of you, it is checked in front of you, or even if this gold is taken in, there are CCTVs everywhere. So do not let gold get out of your sight before it is weighed and checked for purity, etc. Most importantly, there are now companies like MMTC PAMP, Attica and D Gold. These are the companies in India which are now known to buy old gold. What they do is they do most of the screening in front of you. They have the latest state-of-art technology. Much of them is German imported machines. So they tell you there and then on what your gold weighs, what is the purity and what is the price that you will get for this. For all of this, they charge you a process fees. They also tell you on what immediate is the way to give you money. It could be cash, it could be an immediate transfer to your bank. So these are the companies that actually work well when it comes to buying your old gold. I'll repeat it again for you. It is MMTC PAMP, Attica and D Gold. They are known to do this kind of a business. These companies, as I said, charge a fees for all the process that you go through. But this is not all the charges. There are other charges as well. To begin with, there is a 3% GST that the government has put out now on the sale of old gold jewelry. This was done to check the tax evasion, because what was happening a lot of times is that smuggled gold was being sold as old gold. This was being done to evade income tax or GST. So this is one cost that you have to prepare yourself to pay to the seller, to the buyer itself. Also, if you've received this jewelry as inheritance or as a gift, then you do not have to pay any tax on this. But when you go out to sell this jewelry, then again you have to pay a capital tax in case of profits. So two things to notice here is that one, if you are selling gold before 3 years from the date of purchase, then you have to give a short-term capital tax gain here. If you are selling this jewelry or old gold after 3 years, then you have to pay a long-term capital tax of 20%, and this is after indexation, which is also applicable. Also applicable perhaps are education cess and surcharge, etc. I'm going to give you an example on how to really break all of these charges down. So let's imagine that today the 24 karat gold price is at 51 lakh rupees. Now, if you bought this gold, let's say in 2001, that was the time when the gold prices were trading at 4,30,000 rupees. So from 4,30,000 at that time to 51 lakh right now is what the kg of gold prices have increased by. Now, what you have to pay on to this is, first of all, is indexation, which comes at 301. So when you make this calculation on that jewelry, on the prices at that time, this comes at around 12,94,000 rupees. Now, the capital gain on this amount really stands at around 38 lakh rupees, give or take some money there. On this, you have to give 20% tax, because that is the long-term capital tax that you have to pay. So apart from the charges that you give to the buyer, you also have to pay a long-term capital tax on the profit that you have earned on gold at the point when you bought it and the point that you are selling it. So the most important thing is that you have to have some proof of the time when you bought this gold. You have to have the time of inheritance. You have to have the time, perhaps also a bill or an invoice that you should have saved. That makes selling gold quite easy. As I said, if you go to a pawn shop or a buyer who's not asking you for all of these things, perhaps is not the right place to do this as well. So, there's another way. As I just told you, if you sell gold like this, you have to pay taxes, and then you have to pay process fees as well. But if you convert this gold into new gold, you can actually save all of this money. So you don't sell or buy new gold. You give this gold, you get the same gold melted and bought into make it into a new jewelry. Then you do not end up paying any of these charges. So the best thing perhaps to do is, if you do not want to buy new jewelry, you take your old jewelry, tell the person to melt exactly the same quantity and give you exactly the same quantity out, is the way you perhaps can end up saving all your costs.